For today's video, I'm going to create a new store. Now, I am creating it off my partner's account. So you'll see things like create a development store and, talking about my clients. So you won't see that. Normally what you'll see when you create a Shopify account. So what you do is you have to create a Shopify account, go to shopify.com, create a new account, and then it'll ask you to create a store. So you want to know, again, this is the purpose of this store. In my case, it's a partner's account. So it's create a store for a client. The store name, it doesn't really matter what URL you put in here because this won't be the domain name that you use. This will be an internal admin only store name. So it can be, test store 666, test store 6567. Checking availability, yes. So see it's test store 6567 myshopify.com. Where is the business located? I'm selling online, and this is just their marketing. So the answer is no. So I'm going to create a store. And it's thinking. Now, this store is going to be created on the free Dawn theme, which is the automatic theme that Shopify 2.0 installs. It's free and it's very limited. It depends on where you are in your journey. If you just want to do this for working out how Shopify works, then that's okay because you can go in and actually delete this afterwards. So I never really actually do it in the way in which they say here. What I want to do is show you what you get when you install Dawn. So it's Dawn, current theme, customize. Now, you're not going to get, even when you install a theme that is a paid theme, you are not going to get the pretty paid theme like you've seen in their sales pitches. You don't get all the pictures behind the scenes. You get a very basic setup that you then have to populate for your content, like your collections and your products, and then also go and set your payment gateways and all that sort of thing. So this is Dawn. This is a raw what you get when you install Dawn, and this is what this is where most people come a cropper. You get a header, which is here, which is this section here. So this is when the behind the scenes of the store. I'll show you again how we got to that. We got to that by going to, this will be closed up. So sales channels, I'll just refresh that. You get online stores. Normally, even if you normally just see sales channels and you'll see online store. If you double click on it, it'll open up these other options. You go to customize, and this will take you to the builder for the actual store itself, and it defaults automatically to go away, and they automatically set all new stores up with a password on them as well. I'll show you how to get past that in a minute. So it automatically defaults to the home page, and you'll have a home page, a products page. There is a default products page. There is a default collections page. There is a default collections list. Gift cards, cart, checkout pages. There is a default page. There's a default contact page. And blogs, there is a default blog. And there's search and password and 404 pages. And there is a default blog post. So if you look at the home page first, as I say, you're not going to get all the pretty pictures in here. And the baseline for Dawn is a header image, header banner, with a statement there and a shop button there, a button there which can be changed to what it says can be changed, and where it goes to can be changed. Featured products, subscribe to our emails, and that's it. It's very, very, very bucket basic. And over here is where you control how you then change any of these things. So the announcement bar, when I clicked on it, you couldn't see it before. When I clicked on it, it comes up as welcome to our store. You can paste a link there. You can add a second announcement bar. Can you? Don't know. No, on Dawn, I don't think you can. You can change the colors to some degree. You can add your social media icons, but because there's nothing set, this is what throws most people. If these settings aren't there, even though you turn it on, there's nothing there for it to pick up and to actually show. You can enable country regional selections, but again, it hasn't been set up. That's got to be set up in market settings. You can add language selectors, but it's got to be set up in language settings. What happens if I turn off? So at this stage, all you're doing is you're working on the cloud, on Shopify's cloud, but you're not live anywhere. So play around to your heart's content. Don't be frightened to, so what does this button do is sort of always the refrain that's going on in my head. And I can't actually see what that is doing. Nothing. So let's, what's on the header? The header is this bit. I can add a block in here. There is no blocks because this is incredibly, Dawn is incredibly basic. Do I recommend you build a site in Dawn? No, I don't, not at all. Do I recommend you build a site in any of the other free themes? Probably not. My experience over the years, and this is where I first went wrong with Shopify, is my experience over the years was I tried to do so much on free themes. I came from a WordPress background where free themes were like so much solider than Shopify. And I could never do half the things. I also came from the world where they said, everything on Shopify needs a developer. That's no longer true. Not everything on Shopify does need a developer. And in fact, I don't go to developers for lots of things on Shopify anymore. It's amazing what you can do on Shopify now from this backend admin. You can add, so that's add a block. And because this is on Dawn, there is no blocks. There is nothing there available to add. Add a section. Again, very, very, very limited. There is no plugins installed on this. What a plugin does is plugin allows for extra functionality to be added to your store. And the functionality being added depends on what the plugin is you're being added. And of course, there's no plugins. There's only a sign in with shop button is the only default plugin added. So there's really nothing I can add. Even down here on the footer, nothing. Custom liquid means you've got to go into the back end of a what's called a Shopify uses the word .liquid or custom liquid. That's what it calls the files that run all the back end here. Image banner, browse our latest products, buttons, feature collections. We can add another banner there. So when because you don't see it until you hover on it. And this is being done on a computer, all right? Do not try and do this on a mobile. Don't even think it'll come up on a mobile. Laptop, yeah, if you've got a decent amount of screen. Tablet, no. This is really, if you're going to play around with Shopify, it's got to be on a computer. So we're going to have a different, that's welcome to our store. We're going to say free shipping available. Over, say, $50. And we're going to save all this. So see how now that I've got two there, it's automatically scrolling between the two. And you can add sections over here as well. I'm just used to doing it over here. That's just the way I'm used to doing it. Welcome to our store. We might want a link there, which would be, so the links can be either collections, products, pages, blogs, blog posts, or policies. So we're going to make the collections, all collections there. Right, and now it adds an arrow. Free shipping over $50. I might put it to the policy, which don't exist right at the moment, but I might have a shipping policy. I could eventually have a shipping policy in there. Today, I'm not going to try and do every single bit you could do on here because you could be here forever. However, having said that, you spend, a day on your weekend playing around with Shopify and you're going to have a not too not too bad a site sort of setup. Now we want to, on the header, we want to, there's the header. We want our desktop logo to be middle left, top center, or middle left, or top left, or middle center. There's a certain amount of customization you can do, but not a lot, not a huge amount. None of these menu items are going to go. Oh, this will probably go somewhere. These links don't work when you're on the back end here. So we've got the image banner. This is where we would go in and select the first image. Now, of course, this is where you come a cropper when you're using themes like this. There is no images uploaded. Even if you've been on the sales page of a free theme, or even the paid themes, you'll find that they will actually show you their sites all done up with all these images. Those images don't exist when you download and add that theme. You've got to upload your images here. Upload your images. I don't know. No, that's no. These, I'm pretty sure these are images. Yeah, they are. Add images. I want to see something that is actually. No, these are bigger images. I'm going to get rid of that one. And change it. So stop playing around with. Right. It's not the world's best image because it's a cheap screenshot. You can add a second one in there. You can do things like image overlays. I don't want it to be 40%. See how that makes it better? 10%, 100. So don't be frightened when you first got it to go in there and have a look at, what you can move around. There's a little bit of movement. No, I'm going to talk about mobile just at this moment. Browse our latest products. We're going to be, we could say, get your yummy shop all I can send to, it's automatically defaulted. I hate it when it does that. Shop all is going to go to all collections. Now, which ones you go to and which ones you don't sort of depends on what you're doing. There is no collection set up here. So this is about the point where I would be getting away from the back end and then actually exiting this. And I would be, I tend to then go into products. And I would start to add products. You can either add products one by one by adding, giving them a title, giving them a description, putting the media up if you've got it. So let's say we've got the media up here. This just happens to be defaulting to whatever there's on the back end. Let's generate text. See what happens. I've never done it with giving it next to nothing to talk about. Oh, there we go. Keep. If that's how you want to cheat, that's a good way to do it. Made with real caramels, fudge to satisfy your sweet teeth, smooth texture and delicious flavor. The perfect dessert for any occasion. Enjoy a taste of luxury with every bite. I tend to like to edit things like this. And then you would set the price, which is, let's say $12. You don't want to charge tax on this. The cost per item, let's say it's $4. The profit of 8. Compare app prices if I want to set a sales price. I track quantity, continue when selling out of stock. Doesn't make sense if I'm doing that for a physical product. What is the weight? The weight is, say, 1.5 kg. That's important when it comes to some of your shipping calculators, and the shipping prices depend on, you know, how heavy it is. If your products are all quite light, then I tend not to bother to set weight. But if I've got products ranging from very light to very heavy, then I will tend to set weight. Now variance. Okay, so I'm going to do, I'm going to call this presentation. It doesn't really matter, you know, what you call this. 30-gram snack bar, snack, S-A-C-K, pack. You know, 100-gram party pack. All of this is changeable. 3 kg block. Yum, 3 kgs of caramel fudge. Done. And then I can set, so they've picked up the default price for them. Obviously 30 grams is 12. This would be, you know, like 25, and this would be like 67. And then I can set the available quantities of each of them. Now, the other thing I want to mention when you're doing this is what you put up there as the title and as the description, that will automatically be what the search engine listings becomes. And the way we write descriptions versus the way we write search engines listings is totally different. So you need to go back in, you need to go in and change the search engine. So you would want caramel fudge, rich and creamy. So let's edit this. Don't have much. Caramel fudge, rich and creamy. We're talking about caramel fudge, so we don't need that. Real caramel, real caramel, real caramel, smooth texture. Delicious flavor. And this is fudge is a sentence, whereas you don't use sentences in SEO. Decadent treat, satisfying all sweet truths. I don't like, I'm going to use the word cravings. The perfect dessert. And I'm just going to say, taste of luxury with every bite. Yeah, that seems okay. The handle seems okay. Page title seems okay. Save. But what we've got to do is we've got to assign it to a collection. We're going to assign it to a type, which we don't have. Assign it to a collection, which we can't do here because we haven't set collections yet. And it's going to be the theme template as default product. And we need to give it a tag, which will be fudge. And then we also need to set our sales channels. Again, you've got to manage those by this admin setting down here. Add another product, view products with active status, or add a package for shipping. We can preview it from here. There it is. Try and set the main image to be, I would like that to be the main image actually. So we go back to here and we would change that to be the main image. Because seeing the product in use is always more powerful than not seeing the product in use. And doesn't need a save when you're just moving images around. Yeah, see how that's better? So automatically my mind's going to, oh, I'm having a party next week. Wow, wouldn't that look great as the, on the party? And it's saying sold out here because there is technically none of it in stock. Now we need to save this. Product saved automatically. Refresh. Now that's all available. So again, this is the default the default product page on Shopify, and it leaves a little bit to be desired in terms of SEO and not SEO, conversion rate optimization and other things you should put on here. But again, I'm not going into that today. And it's up here that you can actually see any of these working. Now that's really annoying me because the resolution on that is not good. So if we go back to, then the next step would be whether I do products first or collections first. I tend to do collections first. So, and then I'll go in and start adding products. Create corrections fudge. There would obviously be a description on there, and unfortunately they don't allow AI on there. So the cheat is you go and use AI on ChatGPT. Let's see if I can do that quickly. I want create this description. And not half bad. We will grab that. And again, everything's editable. Away from that, shove that in here. It's not bad. It's done a nice little bit of bolding. Why you'd love it. Additionally, having the finest ingredients, classic. I wouldn't be happy with the SEO down here. So I'd have to go and fix that. Now we will add that caramel fudge that we put into it. What I also want to do is I want to create, back to ChatGPT, create an image. Now this currently is I'm sitting here right now on a free ChatGPT account. You can do a huge amount more, including lot more of descriptions and things on the paid page collection. I don't want more less fancy toppings. You'll be really careful here because that implies things that I'll go and buy at a shop, whereas I know the fudges I'm going to put in here don't have all these bits and pieces on the top. So I'm going to ask it to be less. That's much better. Now I can probably get away with download that. Go back to my Shopify, add an image. And go to downloads. And be careful here because it's downloaded this. And first we want to rename it. Oops. I'm going to cancel that because I want to rename it over here first. Project collection. We don't need all this bit. Because what the name of your file is going to be the name of your alt tag. Oh yeah, it's got it. Right. And we need to manage where it's being sold. Later on, you'd have things like Facebook and Google and all sorts of stuff up there once you've set up the sales channels. So if we go to our store now, we've got featured products there. We go back to, just show you something before I go there. Content, files. This is really important to do as you're going along. So I uploaded that and I didn't like the way it was the alt tag that's on it. So I'm going to delete that file. This is really important to do as you're moving through. So it hasn't actually added the alt tag to it. And whether you want to add alt tags right at the very beginning or you want to add them as you go along, that's entirely your or do them sort of in one bulk hit. Personally, my VAs is what I get to do that because that's really, really solid grunt work that's not worth my daily time to do it. What you've also got to remember is that this size has to be kilobytes, not megabytes. Once you've got a whole lot of megabytes sitting up there, it's going to cause you problems with site speed. Right, so we go back to online store and a couple of things before we go there. So this is Dawn that's currently just being used. If I wanted to test out a few other free themes, I could add them in there. And what I'll encourage you to do is to actually add another theme and then change the theme from where you are to the new theme at this level when you're playing with this. So here's also where you see the store password, which is there. Really annoying, but they put a store password on all new stores. You can remove that if you like. So publish it here, and then you'll see what happens. Unfortunately, with Shopify, changing the theme is not as easy as it is in WordPress. So let's view the store now that I've changed the theme. It has a little bit different. Or collections, it's got, now it will pick up when you bring a new theme in to the existing, it will pick up what you already had as products and what you already have as collections and things like, customers and all that behind the scenes. So I quite like this one. It's got the ability to do what I was just going to go and make Shopify do, make Dawn do, which is add the collections. It's slightly up from in that it's got slightly more functionality in here, but not by much. And it's lost. It has lost one of the announcement bars. So changing themes on Shopify is not nearly as easy as you would think, which is why that's what we tend to We tend to get a lot of work as Shopify developers changing themes, because it's actually better to do it in a partner's development account and then move it across than it is to actually just upload your product. And it's got no. The only trouble with this is it has no header image. If this was a paid theme, there would be there was a huge amount more functionality in here. Even within the header, I can't actually add an image. So I like the big header that was in Dawn, but I like the collections that were in that are in here. So what we're going to do is exit the page, because I know I haven't saved it. That's why it didn't like me. And I'm going to go back to Dawn. Now I'm going to publish Dawn. It's telling me to replace the current theme with Craft. And I'm going to add image banner, featured collection. I'm going to add a collections list. And I'm going to move that up above featured collections. Right. So I've got collections, and this one, I'm going to select the collection, which is Fudge, because it's the only one that's in there at the moment. And I'm going to save that. The collections, I tend to prefer to do collections over straight out products. It depends on where you are within your Shopify life cycle. If you've got, lots and lots and lots of people who really know everything you do, and say a lot of your sales are in returning people who've got everything you've sold at the bottom level, then you might be focused more on products up here than you are on collections. But if you're wanting most people to come to the homepage and to get a feel for what you do as an overall store, then I would want to put collections up here. This is a site that I'm not going to do it on this. I've got another paid theme that I'm going to do, but this is a site I am under development for. Fudges and chocolates and sweets and all sorts of yummy stuff. Add section, it can add, so I can add image with text. I can add pair text with an image to focus on your chosen product. That's not too bad. Image with text. I don't know what the difference is between that and that. Honestly, don't know. This is a button that's here, and as you click on there over here, it's going to highlight it over here. Buy now, shop now. And I don't like that. I don't like the colors there, but you cannot, again, unlike WordPress, in WordPress, you could go in and edit all the colors here. That's not something you can do. You have to go to theme settings to do that within Shopify, which is a bit annoying. Featured products, image with text. What else can we add? We can add a slideshow. And that would be something probably that I might do quite a lot for a site like this, because let's assume, assuming with a site like this, I've got people and they're going to come and buy. They're not going to come and buy just fudge. I want them to also know about chocolates and about, boiled lollies, all the different collections that I've got. And that's where something like this is quite useful. And I can add another image. I can add 3. So it now becomes 3. And then I can go set them. I can select the images. So caramel fudge, I've only got caramel fudge up there. Done. I can select the second image, which might be the jellies. That is really annoying me. The resolution on that is dreadful. And I would sort of say something about, the jellies here. Yummy, yummy. Oh, hang on, this has got a this has got to generate text. So rainbow. If you want to do a shop up really quick and really, quick and dirty and nasty, and you want to do it fast, these generate text are really good. And it'll get you, it'll get you going. And then at least get you something up and get you something to start with, because there's a lot to think about when you're first doing this. And the button label will be by now. Shop now. Button link will be to, let's assume we had jellies up there as a product. It's just changing the place it's going to be. Always make sure that's the same for every image here, or else it's going to make people get really seasick. Okay, you can do a limited amount of color changing here, but that's not where I would be doing it. And then we would save. And is this going to go to Dawn? Yes, it is. Let's see how it's starting to come along. What else would we wanting to put in here? Multi-column. You use this a fair bit for like, when you see fast delivery, 100% Australian, amazing customer service. You see this a bit for that sort of thing. So let's generate text here. Normally, when I'm using AI, I would be giving it more prompting than I am here. Flexible contact video. Dawn's got a video embedded in it now. That's new. I quite like a large. So what you'd be doing is sort of having a look at these and playing around with it just while we're on this. So I'm not going into the other bits and pieces. I just wanted to show you what is behind the scenes. Oops, that's not where I wanted to go. Here, 3 dots, edit code. This is all the code that is sitting behind a Shopify store. Now, be warned, you start to play around with any of this and it is pretty well death. It will self-save stuff. And this really, if you're going to start to play around with this, it took me years to be able to start to play around with this sort of stuff. It really is developer level stuff. You can also download the theme file. You can edit default theme content. Where does that take me? Oh, okay. Enter store using password. I rarely use this. I take it all as default. Navigation is the other thing you'd be wanting to set up. So main menu, and this would be something I'd be doing, quite early. Catalog, label, fudge, and the link is again. Oops, my mouse doesn't want to work. Collection, fudge, save, add menu item, jellies. Collection, Oh, I don't have a jelly set up. Open link in new tab. Create a collection called jellies. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. And I'm going to jellies. What I generally tend to do with the images on a product store where the idea with this product store is it's going to be, buying wholesale various products. So I'd be tending to rely on the wholesalers' images rather than ChatGPT. Get that across. Add this here. Really is annoying that they don't have that here, but anyway. Search products, browse. We don't have the product in either. So I'd be wanting to change this to jellies. Bursting with fruity flavor. And we don't want that. Colourful sort of salt, chewy delights. Not each peach piece because it's sort of assumed. That's fine, you're okay. So most of this is not going to be picked up on SEO, so we could get rid of it. Now I go back to ChatGPT and I want it to create an image of my jellies collection. Probably just about at my limit on free ChatGPT. No, not bad. It's not quite how the product is going to look, so. But it'll do for now. And we're going to add the image. And because I've added that image now, that's my main menu. And I don't want to call it shop catalog. I want to call it shop all. View all. And so we want this one up there. And we want that one there. Yeah, not quite like that. We want them indented slightly so they'll drop down. Back to here and refresh. All products are just jellies, depending on whether I, how many I have and what else I have up here on the menu. I might actually not indent that. Just want to be. And wants to stay indented. Control Z. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Nope. I mean, the big thing about setting up these stores is just like test it, do different things here and say, okay, so what does that look like? Okay, now we go back to Costa here. All right, that's looking better. That like that, my users would, my users would make more sense of that. Now we go back to the store. Make this one collection. We're going to make this one jellies. All right, save. And let's add a featured product. You don't know which one this relates to. Sometimes it's handy to, now we might change that to bestsellers. We're going to have two collections or might not be picking up the second one because it's going to pick up everything that's in that collection because I'd set it under collection fudge. Image with text. Going to select this one. And let's see if it will do AI here. And annoyingly, that doesn't give you the ability to use that styling on, we've been selecting everywhere else. because we've used jellies. I've used this. If you want to get rid of something, you trash it there, or you can also hide something. I tend to use hide more than I use trash because when I'm setting up at the very beginning, it's like, oh, I don't quite know what I want. And if I've trashed it, then generally it's like, I did want that. I don't know what I've used. This is, you see this used quite a lot in clothing. In the case of what I'm doing, that would be quite good for showing like quite a few of the different the three sort of top main products. Something else I was going to show you. So there's lots and lots and lots more to setting up this, but that will get you by for the moment. I won't go into the settings, just show you that there is various other, this is where you set up shipping, taxes, locations, markets. It's defaulted to Australia and international apps and sales channels where you add in, you'd be adding in Facebook and Google Analytics in here, or Facebook, it's called Facebook still, but it's Meta. And if you were selling on TikTok and Pinterest, you'd be adding that in there as well. This is where you would be connecting the domain. Like at the moment, it's this one, whereas the ultimately you're going to get a domain that you're going to have, and you're going to connect either an existing domain or you're going to buy a new domain. And then the other main one we use over here is the policies. Return policy. So let's templates, insert template. I mean, this is the cheap and easy way to do it, but you've got to be really careful about what you're putting on here. And I've got to tell you that you probably should have these checked over by your legal counsel. And then you'll need to sort of, change bits and pieces within here. So we can publish that. Terms of service. I'm going to insert this for the moment. Shipping policy. We're going to insert this. You can't insert one. They haven't given it to you. So that's where I would go back to ChatGPT and I would say, give me a shipping policy for shipping policy offers no returns, returns for store credit only after 10 days. Because this is where you would have to be quite specific. Put the returns and refunds policy in together. And again, you would customize that with your information sitting in there. Contact information you need to set. But as you can see, it's quite, it is quite fast when it comes to doing all this. Online store. Have to go and then set a policies menu in here. And generally the policies and all that are put at the bottom here. That's at the moment, it's only privacy policy. Let's go back to the footer. It has automatically put it in because we have set them up since this was, so if we freshen this up. Yep, they've come up. If in doubt, refresh. The next one after that, if in doubt, do a hard refresh, which is get out of the site and come back in. That's probably enough for the moment. I hope you found that useful.